All right. Welcome again. So I'm Sadie Everett, and I'm the director of RAC, which is now part of the IDD Ed, easy for me to say, the IDD Ed Center at the University of Cincinnati. And I'm super excited to get us started here with Dr. Todd Haydon, who is faculty at UC. And I'll let Todd introduce himself here in a second. But we are here to learn about caring for ourselves so we can care for others. And specifically others meaning students or people with disabilities. So also, I'm going to share at the end of the presentation a survey, a form for you guys to complete. And in that form, if you would like to receive a copy of The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle, I will be getting those copies to you. And thank you again, Todd, for providing those copies. That's going to be awesome. So that'll happen at the end. I'll send that survey out, but just a heads up on that. So thanks again for being here, and I'm going to turn it over to Todd.
Okay, great. I'm looking forward to the presentation, and I'm reading some of the comments. And Sarah, when you say no, but I exercise that works like meditation. Yes, it does work like meditation. It's the same thing. And my goal, as I open up the PowerPoint here, my goal is to open up the definition of what mindfulness is and what meditation is. And I'm going to use a little bit of science behind it to support my claim. And I'm also would suspect that many of you are already meditating or being mindful, but don't know it. So my goal is for everyone to come out of this workshop with a practice that you could do 5 to 20 minutes a day. Not only do you want to do it, but you look forward to doing it. So I'm Todd Haydon, and I've been at UC since 2008. I am a parent of a child who has not been labeled on the spectrum, but probably could have. He's an adult child now, definitely has sensory issues. We had OT and PT when he was starting at age 2 or 3, therapeutic listening, blankets, and the swing combination with the music helps him regulate. Haircuts were very difficult when he was young. Teaching him to ride a bike was very difficult because of the balance. And I've just, in the recent maybe couple years, been actually doing research on sensory integration. So, from a parent standpoint, I'm kind of speaking from experience and some of the grief and loss that you have with having a student with a disability. It means that some of the activities that you would like to do, maybe not be able to do. For example, go to baseball games. The noise was just too loud. So I think I can say that I get it. And also I have some sensory issues too. So right now, I have my bare feet on the ground. I cannot wear socks on the floor. That just would drive me crazy. Loud noise, light, and food has to be a specific way. And I'm just sharing this because I get a little bit of what you're going through. And also, I have been able to do some kind of mindfulness or meditation practice. I definitely do at least an hour in the morning and do some other things throughout the day just to help self-regulate. So that's just a little bit about me. So let's get this slide going here. So I'm going to do a little bit of presentation, not too long. I want to have everyone go out into breakout rooms and come up with a practice. And we're going to have some certain questions. You want to learn about what drains you and what also energizes you. And then come up with a practice. And then we're going to report out and then we'll wrap up. So that's the plan for today. So what is that? Oh, it's just my mind. So some of you can relate that this person has all this stuff going inside their head. And there are two ways to approach meditation and mindfulness. Basically, two ways. One is to get to this place where the person's on the left, where their mind is fairly still, like a calm lake. Another approach, and that works for some people, that's the approach that I take. Another is that you have these thoughts and still trying to manipulate them, control them, you accept them. And you can also do a combination of both. By accepting is that any thought that comes up, you can simply observe it. And when you observe it, then you are creating some distance between you and the thought or you and the emotions. And then when you do that, you have a choice. Do I want to identify? Do I want to, or by identify, I mean, do I want to spend most of my time focusing on these thoughts? Or can I slip into somehow identifying with that which is watching my thoughts? And that is the basis of acceptance commitment therapy and also mindfulness, which has been around for thousands of years. So you can go two different ways. So if you think that you have to have a calm mind to do mindfulness, no, that is not, you don't have to think that way. If you are observing your busy mind, you are doing mindfulness. The only thing is that it might get a little tiring, like having a dog just go around and around in your house like a little puppy. It might get a little tiring after a while, but if you are observing that, then you are doing mindfulness. If you are exercising, you are doing mindfulness, and we'll talk about that a little bit more. I wanted to give you a few resources. I'm going to move this up a little bit. So here's some resources. Insight Timer. If you don't know about that, you can go to insighttimer.com. They have hundreds of different guided meditations for different, if you want to sleep better, if you want more energy, if you want more focus, just click on that link and it will take you to so many different teachers. And there's a lot of free stuff. You can pay and get more, but that's a great resource. Another is emotional freedom technique. And I'm going to show you that right now. It's very simple. You may like it, you may not. If you don't like it, that's fine. But the emotional freedom technique, as you can see, is there are all these acupuncture points, acupressure points, and there's been studies that have shown that this is effective. And by the way, all this I have either done myself or I have investigated into it, so I'm not throwing out something that I don't know. Okay, so emotional freedom technique is what you do is you take your two fingers or three if you want, it really doesn't matter, and you slightly just tap on the top of your head. And if everyone wants to do it with me to get the feeling of it. So you tap that acupuncture point right there, and then you go to the side of the eye, and then you go into the middle of the eye. Just a few times, light tapping, and then you do under the nose, and then you do under the chin, and then you do the collarbone point on your left side, and then you do side of the body under the arm, and then you do the hand right here, the fleshy part of the hand. Yes, I love this emotional freedom technique. We'll go through it one more time on top of the head, just tap. If you're really in tune to your body, this feels really good. Side of the eye, middle of the eye, under the nose, under on the chin, collarbone point, under the arm, and fleshy part of the hand. So I've tried this with some students and who are on the spectrum, and they tend not to like this. But again, this is mainly for you as an adult. Um, and so let's go on to see more resources. Grounding. Okay, Dr. Laura Conover, a medical doctor, MD. Okay, certified doctor, MD, does a lot of this is her website, Intuition Physician. She's big on alternative medicine, and she's done a lot of synthesizing the research on grounding. So grounding is simply, it gets a little harder in Ohio, but grounding is going outside with bare feet and being on the grass. All it takes is a minute, or touching a tree. So those tree huggers back in the 60s and 70s, those are on to something. Okay. So when you're feeling bark or touching a plant, um, then that is some kind of grounding. So I'm looking at my window right here. I have a wire that goes down to the ground and comes up and attaches to a grounding sheet. So I'm sleeping, being grounded the whole time. Um, Also, oh, well, I just thought of this. Hold on. If you are working on the computer a lot, I suggest getting, and if I got to put this in the resource, but you can use blockers. Okay. Blue blockers are great. If I'm on the computer looking at a screen for more than like an hour and a half, I start getting headaches because of so blockers. Get the ones that are tinted. You might want to invest in some good blockers. This is called RA Optics. RA Optics. A little bit expensive, but worth it. Worth it. So like even the grounding is trying to protect us from EMFs. And if you know any kind of research lately about EMFs, for example, in my house, they about a year ago, they put 5G network in here around the house. And guess what? Hardly any birds are around my house anymore. We used to have dozens of birds. It would be loud in the morning, chirping. 5G gets the birds out because of the waves. And this is again based on research. So be careful about I don't use wireless. I use the old Ethernet connection. Supplements, Dr. Darren Schmidt. Again, I go to him. He's up in Ann Arbor. I drive up there. He's knows a lot about supplements, works with people who have chronic illness, um, kiddos with students with disabilities. His big thing right now, he's discovered that there's a lot of B1 deficiency in people, especially adults. So so he prescribed me like a lot of B1, and my energy's through the roof. I feel like I was like 20 years ago. Dr. Darren Schmidt, Echo Meditation. Look up Echo Meditation, Dawson Church. It's a quick 10-minute meditation that can get you into a peaceful place if you want to try that. And he has the book Mind to Matter. This is a great book, Mind to Matter. And in that book, you get to go at the end of the chapter. It's either that or he also has Bliss Brain, another book, Bliss Brain, where at the end there's meditations that you can do for like 10 minutes at the end of each book chapter. So The Power of Now talks about mindfulness, being the present moment. It's a classic book in the mindfulness field. If you want to get a free copy, Sadie will send it out to you. I use it in my undergraduate classes. We're discussing it. I've had some good success in having the students be more calm and be more mindful. I'm conducting a couple of studies over a 2-year period. So that's the power of now. So this is the science part. What is happening to our brain when we're peaceful? And this comes from Dawson's Church bliss brain. So there's these molecules that are inside our brain called anandamides. Ananda is a word from Sanskrit meaning joy, bliss, or delight. So if you remember, what's his name, Campbell, who had wrote a lot about the hero's journey. He said, follow your bliss. So he's taking that word from Joseph Campbell. Ananda means bliss. So several studies has demonstrated that the anandamides. I've been to a workshop with Dawson Church, and he would hook up people with electrodes and showing the gamma and alpha waves and all that. And when he was doing the echo meditation, you could just see the brain settle down. So that's some of his research that he focuses on. So whereas we go into our breakout rooms, it's important to know that don't think of mindfulness or meditation as you have to close your eyes. All right. So even if you go to a mindfulness meditation center, there's walking meditation, there's mindfulness eating, um, there's open eye meditation. So it's somehow in our culture, we got to this idea that mindfulness or meditation is only when you are have your eyes closed and chanting Om or something like that. That is not the case. It's what is happening with your brain. The strategy doesn't matter. It just matters that you do it consistently, like anything. So let's be a little bit more open. We're going to find our good place. So I was just reading this morning that looking at green fields and green open space helps to reduce stress. And they've done a few studies on that. So I thought that was interesting. But I call it your good place. I got that off the title of a Netflix series called The Good Place. And so we're going to find our good place. Um, so you could also call it a self-care or calming exercise. So just and I'm putting in little shoulds here, suggesting that it should be fun. If your meditation mindfulness practice is not fun, then yeah, you're not gonna maintain it. If it's not relaxing, you're not gonna maintain it. So if you think that you have to get into like some kind of meditation pose with the legs crossed and you're in pain, and closing your eyes and straining and just like, no, 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 that's not relaxing. You will not keep it up. That's not what we're talking about here. It should be exciting. Like you look forward to it. It's like, oh, I look forward to meditation in the morning. It's my favorite time of day. Um, and you can do it just do it every day for 5 to 20 minutes. My meditation teacher, she says to do it 20 minutes um, if you want to experience the less stress. And so it doesn't have to be meditation with your eyes closed. So here's some examples that come from my class that my undergrads. Petting a dog. If you are petting a dog and that makes the anandamides kick in, you are doing meditation, you are doing um, mindfulness. And our dog, I used to do that, and we just look in each other's eyes, and oh my gosh, that's how great is that? It doesn't matter. You are meditating, okay? If you're petting your dog, if you're walking the dog, sometimes I see people walking the dog, but they're on their phones. So no judgment there, but you're missing the opportunity to be in the present moment, walking your dog, seeing where the dog goes, and just being with the dog. Talking to a close friend. Um, Back in the day, um, some of you may remember, but we used to have face-to-face conversations. We used to go out and have coffee and actually talk face-to-face with the person for like an hour or so. I'm being a little sarcastic here, but if you look at Sebastian Maniscalco, He's a comedian. He has When the Doorbell Rings. And if you watch that, you kind of say, yeah, that's the way it used to be. Yeah, you used to come over and you didn't even have to call and they knock on the phone, knock on the door, or come in and you have Sanka coffee or whatever. It's a really funny skit, but talking to a close friend. Um, Sitting out back and looking at nature, if you're doing that for 20 minutes, that counts. One student is on the spectrum and in my class, and she would hold an ice cube. So it worked for her. You could have a peaceful childhood feeling like, oh, I remember Christmas or when we went on this vacation. That would be, and it just visualizing it, closing your eyes, experiencing it again. The brain thinks that you're there. Okay. You know your kind of like psychological lower mind, we'd call it in meditation, is knows it's not there, but your brain, your actual brain is acting like it is there. So those are some ideas. So we're going to go into our breakout rooms. We're going to do two things. Talk for a minute and just think about what are things that are fill your cup and what are some energy drainers. So just kind of talk about, oh, this is like for me, doing errands all over the place is an energy drainer for me. And meditation is an energy giver. So, and then after we just kind of share, we're going to come out and after that, and when your groups, think of a mindfulness activity that you really love, you look forward to it. Be open. Don't say, well, that doesn't count as meditation. It could be if you like doing dishes and the soapy feely hand, that would count. So that's what we're going to do. And 1 minute for the drainers, replenishers, and then the rest of the time we want to come up with 5 to 10 minutes of a good way to get to your good place. And if you want to talk about a positive moment of caregiving, like a victory or where you were mindful, that can give you an idea of where to start in finding your practice. So we are all ready to go.
Okay, great. Thank you. Okay, so identify energy drainers 1 minute, identify energy replenishers 1 minute,
Yep.
a win or positive moment of caregiving a minute, then talk about, come up with a calming activity that will take you to your good place. Okay, awesome. Amanda, can I volunteer you to facilitate a room, and then I'll facilitate a room in Todd. So I'm going to, hold on a second. Assign and Todd. Oops, hang on a sec. Sorry. And then room 3.
Sadie's secretly giving us opportunities to be mindful right now. Just
Sorry, everybody.
observing, just
Ah,
observing.
okay, sorry. I'm doing it manually. I probably should have done it a different way, but what can I say? I'm a rookie. Okay, now I think I can do it. Let's see. There we go. Let's hope that worked. Every time you get on Zoom, it's like, and do all these little fancy things. I never know if it's really going to work. But yeah, but really appreciate the conversation. Thanks for your honesty and everything.
Thanks for facilitating.
Yeah, my pleasure.
It's as simple as not like making a choice. So down here in our office for Halloween, I came up with this. We're going to do the Inside Out characters. And I can't even pick which one I'm going to be.
That's cute.
I guess I'm just letting everybody else choose, and then whatever's left, I'll take. That's me. Like, I'm just doing it, right? Like, we just do what we have to do. And then, like, I'll be giving somebody a hug, trying to make them feel better, and thinking, I don't even have time to be sad myself. Like, just got to get through it.
Yep.
Right.
So I still haven't decided which one I'm going to be.
So in my group, everyone had already been doing a practice when we talked about it, like this counts as mindfulness. This does count. I don't know if everyone else experienced that. Who wants to report out? Yeah?
We did.
Yeah. So what were some practices that you do?
One that one that somebody brought up is like organizing. And I jumped on that. I love to organize.
Yeah.
And I have heard that if you're feeling anxious or upset or whatever, if you're feeling that way, organize a drawer, organize your closet, do something really immediate like satisfaction,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a great, yeah. Organizing. Yeah. That's it right there. And if you can do it every day, that counts. Yeah. Amanda, what do you do?
Oh, how did I know you're going to say that? So I was sharing with this group. This is something that is very different from meditation, but I have found it to be my mindfulness activity is singing. So I sing in a
Oh,
band.
yeah.
I dance, and dancing and singing are one of those things that just like really give me the input that I need and bring me down from whatever I've been experiencing. So
Yeah.
it's hard to be sad unless you're singing a sad song. You have to be careful about that.
Right.
It's also hard to think or do anything else when you're dancing and singing.
Yeah. Yeah,
Mhm.
that's exactly right. So you're in the moment. You're in the present moment.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. So we were talking about the difference between meditation and mindfulness. And meditation is, if you go back to like the initial second slide, is trying to still the mind. To me, it's a little bit more, it requires effort and I don't want to say intense, but you get a mantra and you usually get it from a teacher and you focus on that one word. And when the mind wanders, you gently bring it back. But it's very focused. Whereas in mindfulness, whatever comes up, it's more of like this open awareness, and letting the thoughts come. You're not trying to silence the mind. It's not coercive. It's very open, and you just observe. And anything that comes up, you simply accept it. So there's more compassion involved. In meditation, there's compassion too, eventually, but one is just a little bit more, meditation is more focused and mindfulness is open, but they all eventually lead to the same place. Yeah. So like this, what other mindfulness? We got a few more mindfulness exercises. Sarah, what do you do?
Yeah, sorry about that.
That's all right.
Um, well, I work out 3 days a week and I'm by far the oldest person. And I go in there and I don't talk to anyone because that's my time. And
Mm-hmm.
I give it 110% every time, even though I say to myself, I don't have to give 110%. But it's just like in that moment, 3 days a week, 3 hours a week, I just connect to myself. I let everything else go and I'm focused. And
Yeah.
I am whipped at the end of it. But
Yeah.
I absolutely love it and I don't think I could live without that. That
Oh,
just
yeah.
seems to stabilize my life
That's great.
throughout the week, counting on those, knowing I'm going to be doing that. It makes everything manageable.
Yeah, that's great. The
Yeah.
only tweak I would suggest is if you could do something smaller, maybe not even go, but something at home that would have the same effect, but because you can't lift every day, but I mean, some people do,
Yeah.
but
Just,
to
yeah.
do
I walk the
something,
dogs every day.
yeah, there you
Yeah.
go.
And I mean, I walk the dogs, like my kids are like, you're gone forever. Because I
Oh,
will
yeah.
walk them for an hour intentionally. My poor
Yeah,
dogs have to walk for an hour. So I do that every day. Every
yeah,
day.
that's it. I mean, and you can mix and match. So you don't
Yeah.
have to do the same activity. Again, the brain doesn't know the difference. It's just feeling
Hmm.
good. So that's the main takeaway from this workshop is that either you are already doing it and now you know that you're doing it. So the brain is that you say, oh, okay, now then anandamides, or I'm getting the bliss, I'm in bliss brain. I'm in my good place. I'm feeling good. I'm in the good place. Yeah, whatever. Now you're conscious of it. And then when you're conscious of it, that's when you're doing mindfulness or meditation. Otherwise, you're unconscious of it.
I think
So,
that's my biggest takeaway today,
yeah,
because I feel I am doing some of these practices, but not thinking, not knowing.
yeah.
Yeah.
We just say Eckhart Tolle talks about you being conscious,
Hmm.
because everyone can, drink alcohol, he says, and feel good, but you're unconscious. Or even when you're in deep sleep and have a great sleep, you're unconscious. You're not aware. But when you're aware that this is happening to your brain and you're open in doing the mindfulness, then you're conscious of it and it's going to be more powerful. So, all
Yeah.
right.
Wow.
It's 10:59,
Yeah,
Sadie.
we did it.
We
Gosh,
did it.
thank you so much, Todd. Thank you all for being here. I'm putting the survey in the chat, but like I said, I will be emailing you all with the presentation and the survey link and the recording. We are putting the recordings up on our website too. So all of this will come out in email. And thank you so much, Todd. I learned
It was
so
a
much.
pleasure. It was fun, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
It should
It
be
was
fun.
fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, and thank you all for your honesty and your openness. Have a great day and a great week, and we'll be in touch.
Bye, everyone.
Bye,
Thank you.
thank you.
Bye. Thank
Bye.
you.
Thank you.